right, now it's Ken Grudens with the Indian River Land Trust. Hello, Ken.
Good morning, Bob.
So anything exciting happened since we talked last, which I looked at about a month ago?
Well, yes. We've been making great progress on the construction of our living classroom project at the Coastal Oaks Preserve in South Vero. It's a 226-acre property, and call me a nature nerd, Bob, but what I love about this property is that it has every type of habitat you can find in the coastal area, all on one property. And so it just lends itself to the opportunity for adults and children alike to immerse in these different habitats all in a day, all in a visit. And so that inspiration, along with the Junior Scientist Fellows Program that we've been running on the property with the Harbor Branch Oceanographic Institute for over 10 years, we're actually creating a place for people to gather and to learn and to share education and research. And it's just a phenomenal project.
Well, it's one of those things that, as you said, it's got a little bit of everything. And there are very few areas left that are like that anymore.
Yeah, let alone having one or two types of habitats. It has really just about all of them. And we're well along in this project. We're planting all native plants to Florida, and actually amounts to 80,000 plants that are being planted on the front part of this property that leads up to a pavilion, a gathering pavilion and teaching pavilion that will be set back from US 1 and really sitting at the confluence of four types of habitats.
So I'm guessing there won't be any Brazilian pepper trees planted over there.
Not if I can help it. They managed to. They're pretty persistent, though.
Yeah, well, I hate those things, but that's another story. But no, so when you're talking about a classroom setting, I would imagine there'll be a lot of field trips there, right?
Yeah. Again, the pavilion is just be a gathering point where it's a sort of a rustic Florida vernacular design, but has state-of-the-art components to it. There'll be wet labs, there'll be teaching screens and places for students to plug in iPads and whatever they're using. But it's a gathering point. So they would gather there and then go out into the field to learn, to immerse, like I said, or to really to just enjoy and experience nature.
Well, just to go back a little bit, how did you manage to acquire this property?
Well, interestingly, it's actually been acquired over multiple different acquisitions. I think 6 different acquisitions, but the initial core acquisition was 185 acres with a mile of lagoon frontage, and the property was slated for development. And the county, with 2004 bond funds, tried to acquire it, and they offered over $10 million for that core piece. And the owner at the time declined, and then the recession came along. And fast forward, we were able to acquire that same piece in 2011 for $1.69 million.
Whoa.
And that's what got it started. And certainly it made sense to keep going from there. That was the back part. The front part, which was an old citrus grove and basically a giant forest of Brazilian pepper, was the area that we're restoring and putting the winding road through, the gravel road, the shell rock road, and then the pavilion. So we're not actually damaging or hurting any native habitat. In doing so, we're actually restoring it.
So when do you think this classroom will be up and running?
I would hope that it'll be completed in about a year, and that we could be sort of doing a ribbon cutting and opening and starting programs there in the fall of 26. It would be. That's my hope. And we wouldn't solely run programs out there. The idea is that we would partner with other organizations that already have programs for education and research, like Harbor Branch or the Environmental Learning Center, who we've been talking with about utilizing the property.
Yeah, I was going to ask who's going to be staffing this thing, but you're right. There are so many organizations that would love to be able to participate in something like that, and I would imagine you won't have any problem finding folks to do that.
I don't think so. We're talking with several other organizations, so I do feel that it'll catch wind, and all of a sudden it'll be very actively used. And we also like to be able to have it ideally open to the public, perhaps during the winter on one Saturday a month for people to go out and enjoy without programming. So we're working toward that concept as well.
So you have anything on the drawing boards to buy down the road here?
I think I mentioned before that we have expanded our vision for protecting important habitats and waterways and wildlife corridors and such out to the whole county. And so we're really looking at properties all across the county and kind of getting our ducks in a row to figure out how we can help complement what the county's doing and their work with their new bond funds. And so we don't have anything imminent, but we are sort of taking the long view here again to try to figure out what makes the most sense. And in the meantime, we are providing more tours of properties this winter. We're putting the final touches on the booklet that will go out in October and be posted on our website in October. We're going to be adding some beekeeping demonstrations. We've got more. Last year, we started some native plant tours for people to learn about native plants. And certainly, we've got tours of, I think, 5 different properties that we help to own or manage. So we're excited about that while we continue to look at more land to protect in perpetuity.
And if anybody shares that interest, they can become a member of the Land Trust, can't they?
Absolutely.
And how do they do that?
Well, the best and easiest way is to go online to our website at irlt.org, or if someone kind of wants to put their toe in the water and wants to see what we're about and learn more, they can come to and support our annual benefit, which is coming up November 6th, and we'll be sending invitations and providing invitations online probably by October 1st.
All right. Well, Ken, as always, thanks for being on the show. Got some exciting things ahead.
Thanks for having me, Bob.
You bet. Ken Grudens with the Indian River Land Trust.